Shorekeeper is finally coming back after quite a long time in jail. But with the incredibly hyped up Zani and also Chikona coming in the next update, a lot of people are wondering if they should be pulling or skipping the Shorekeeper. Well, that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Here are Shorekeeper's biggest pros and cons. When discussing the Shorekeeper, the first thing that I always have to mention is the fact that she is, by far, the best character in the entire game. And when I say that, I'm not joking. Oh, Shorekeeper's the best character in the game. By how much? Oh, don't even get me started. This is the best support in the entire game. Playable with literally every single DPS. There is not a single exception. And the one she's best in slot for, well, it's every DPS minus 2 of them. That's how good she is. Shorekeeper is played in almost every team in the entire game, and for very good reason. Her short field time, her ridiculous amount of buffing, and in also being the best healer in the game. Shorekeeper is the closest thing we have to a must-pull in the game. While you can say, there's other good healers, we have Verena. Well, for tower you need 3 teams, at least 2 of them being good. In Whimpering Wastes, you need 2 good teams, so you're gonna need 2 good healers. So guess what? Even if you already have a Verena, you need to pull for Shorekeeper anyway. And while characters like Brant and Contarella have made it so you don't really need a dedicated healer, we were never using Shorekeeper because she had so much heals. No, we all used her because her buffing was ridiculous, so Brant and Contarella being in the game don't really change anything about the Shorekeeper's meta value. Speaking of which, let's talk about the things that make her as good as she is. The first thing being that her buffing is incredible. Oh my lord, this character has some of the strongest universal buffs in the entire game. In her base kit alone, she gives us a free 12.5% crit rate and 25% crit damage after 2 intro skills with her ultimate. This is the only source of crit buffing in the entire game when we're talking about external characters. Sure, a lot of characters have crit within their own kit, but Shorekeeper is the only character that allows you to get your crit buffed by someone else. So yeah, that's very nice. And guess what? That crit rate buff allows characters like Xiangliao and Camellia to run a crit damage main stat on their primary echo while they're running their signature, and still have more than 80% crit rate. You see, because Xiangliao and Camellia don't have crit rate for free in their forte, it means that their crit rate is naturally going to be lower. But Shorekeeper makes up for this, meaning you can still run crit damage main stats on them. And then there's also the Shorekeeper's 15% damage amplification, which is just a straight up 15% damage increase towards every hit of damage that you're doing in your rotation, which doesn't sound that major on its own. But Verena and Baizha have the same effect, and it's proven to be incredibly powerful, especially because the Shorekeeper has an additional effect on her outro skill, which allows you to get a free perfect dodge even after getting already hit, massively helping with Concerto energy generation, as well as making it so you get less knockback when you do end up getting hit. And then there's also the fact that she can run Rejuvenating Glow, as well as Fallacy of No Return, and of course her signature weapon, all combined giving another 37% attack. And there's more to this character as well, because she is the best healer in the entire game. You see, Shorekeeper has a boatload of healing sources within her kit. First of all, her Liberation. It will drop a field that will heal every party member that is inside of it, which will happen once every second. And when you look at a singular tick of healing, you might not be that impressed, but keep in mind, it's ticking pretty damn fast. Then there's also the Shorekeeper's Resonance skill, which is an incredible tool to instantly go from very low HP to being high enough to where you can start playing on your DPS safely again. You see, I value these instant heals a lot, because they let you get out of sticky situations when you are low on HP. And while a lot of hypercarry setups, where you want to use outro skills to buff your DPS, can't really make full use of this, in Quickswap, this is actually a pretty neat thing to do if you ever do end up being low on health. But if you're good enough to play Quickswap, let's be honest, you don't really need it. But Shorekeeper also gives healing through her outro skill. the amount of healing sources this character has is honestly kind of ridiculous. And then combined with the fact that their scaling is good too. Running Shorekeeper in your team should make it so you easily stay alive in whatever content you're playing, as long as you're not just smashing your face against the keyboard. But even if you are smashing your face against the keyboard, her outro skill will make it so you'll probably be fine anyway. Another advantage to the Shorekeeper is that she is able to group with her forte heavy attack. Now, while the range on this is not impressive in the slightest, and also you can only do it while Shorekeeper's on field, I feel people don't value this grouping enough. You see, when Whimpering Wastes was added in 2.1, people quickly realized that grouping was very valuable here, and the Shorekeeper being able to let you group during your setup means that even when you're not pushing out damage by running a DPS on the field, you're still doing something of use. Because, well, in Whimpering Wastes, you want to be pushing out damage as much as possible. But if you're not doing that, you at least want to do some grouping to make it so your DPS can dispatch of enemies easier, and that's what Shorekeeper allows you to do. The small enemy waves in Whimpering Waste will be pretty easily gathered by the Shorekeeper's heavy attack, which is incredibly convenient and makes her stand out from Verena when it comes to AoE game modes like this. However, I will say that it's not all sunshine and rainbows with this character. Shorekeeper does have some negatives, even if they are not massive at all. First of all, being the fact that she doesn't exactly have the fastest rotation of all of the healer characters. While she is the second fastest, she still doesn't really compare to Verena. Verena's rotation is so fast it's not even funny, and Shorekeeper still having to do basic attacks to charge her forte makes it so that her rotation will inevitably be longer than Verena, which gets even worse when you give Verena her S2. Because at S2, Verena just kind of stops being fair, to be honest. You don't even need your intro skill, you just kind of press the skill, ult, jump, and your two aerials. Then your S2 Verena is done. But Shorekeeper has to do basics, has to do her heavy, and, well, that just leads to a longer rotation. But please keep in mind that the con here is not so much that Shorekeeper's rotation is long, it's that it's not the shortest in the game. So, well, is it really a con? And then the final point, Shorekeeper is pretty reliant on her intro skill for her concerto rotation. Now, again, this sounds like something that's just kind of a universal issue and is not really Shorekeeper exclusive, but hear me out. Out of the 100 concerto energy that Shorekeeper needs to generate, 20 of that is coming from her enhanced intro skill, which is a fifth. That is the same as using a resonant skill, so it's pretty substantial, and it's more than the usual 10 from a regular intro skill. So getting the enhanced version is pretty vital to Shorekeeper's fastest rotations. However, in order to get the enhanced intro skill, you need to make sure that the Stellar Realm does not run out, which means that Shorekeeper gives you a hard cap on how long your rotation is allowed to be. If the rotation lasts so long to where the Stellar Realm runs out, well, normally you would probably be fine with missing the crit buffs for at least a little bit. But because the Shorekeeper's enhanced intro skill is also tied to the Stellar Realm, it is preferable that you finish your rotation before it runs out. But as you can probably tell from this video, that is quite the nitpick. I still think Shorekeeper is the best character in the entire game, and pulling for her can never be a mistake. It really is just as simple as, well, pulling for Shorekeeper is just a good idea. Even if you already have her, you can pull for her weapon or her S2. This banner only starts being a mistake when you already have S2 R1. But what do you think of the Shorekeeper? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below, and while you're down there, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you have any questions, be sure to join my Discord, which is linked in the description. I'm pretty active in there, so if you ask a question, there's a pretty good chance I'll answer it. But that'll be it from me. Peace.